All right. طيب I think طبعا it was يعني not so hard وبرضه not so easy. كان في كام question كده في النص that required شوية thinking يعني. I'm going to unfortunately go through them all عشان I want to make sure and we do the fastest way و hopefully discuss لو حد فيكم عنده faster way than whatever I said so far. Okay. معلش ثانية. يا حبيبي اللي في الأواخر يعني. هنعملهم خالص كلهم كده كده بس معلش عشان عندي كده مثلا و44. طيب starting with the 30 الأول let's start. هو بيقول لي إن أنا عندي square السايدز بتاعته 3 centimeters long. One of the vertices of the square is at 2 and 0. Which of the following points could be also another vertex on the square? So I have a square I don't know if it's this vertex ولا this ولا this ولا that. So one of them is at 2 and 0 and every side is 3. So what I'm going to try is to move من 2 0 3 up 3 left 3 right and 3 down. So if you move 3 to the right I should add 2 plus 3 فهيطلع لي 5 and 0 which is the choice number K. The rest are all يعني not possible. Once we go for 31 they need y in terms of x. What I know في أي right triangle ما دام بتكلم على sides يبقى Pythagoras. So y squared is supposed to be equals to the square root, sorry, the 2 legs to the power of 2, 4 squared plus x squared. That would get you 16 plus x squared. وعشان أجيب ال y لوحدها لازم أحط square root to the other side, and that would get you choice E as the correct one. Because the hypotenuse is missing, we put a square root and we add both legs to the power of 2. A bag contains 12 red, 5 yellow, 15 green. How many additional red? This is a question that we've solved several times in different tests, by the way. So how many additional red? Right now I have 12 red out of a total of 30. No, 30, 32. And then I'll add a specific number of red that I don't know. So I'll add X to the red. Whatever I'm going to add to the red will have to be added to the total as well. So that all of this would be equals to 3 over 5. Now from that step you can cross multiply, and after that you can use shift solve, but you cannot use shift solve from the very beginning. It would take you so much time on a calculator. So once you do this, you can do this on a calculator with shift solve or just go through the steps, and that would get you 60 plus 5x equals 96 plus 3x. And then move the x's with each other and the numbers with each other, and you'll have 2x equals to 36, which means x is equals to 18. You need to add 18 more. The only difference that we've seen in this question than the other tests is the numbers, but the idea itself is almost exactly the same. Moving on to number 33. Really, what are the quadrants of the xy coordinate plane below? مش عارف ايه contains the points from the equation this. Clearly, this is a line. What I know about a line is to find the slope and the y-intercept. To find the slope, it's supposed to be negative a over b, يعني negative 4 over negative 2, يعني positive 2. So it's a positive slope. Next, you'll find the y-intercept. The y-intercept is c over b, which in this case is 8 divided by negative 2, yani the y-intercept is negative 4, so that's a negative y-intercept. Which means that the line will have a y-intercept over here, and because it's a positive slope, it has to go up from left to right. So it would probably look like this. This means that the line has passed through quadrant 3, quadrant 4, and quadrant 1, but it did not pass through quadrant 2. So 1, 3, and 4. D is the correct answer. The graph of this, it passes through this point. Whenever a point passes through a specific graph and I know the equation of it, this is considered the x and y, and I can substitute those over here. So I'll put instead of the y 2a, and instead of the x, I'll substitute the 1. That would get you that 2a is equals to 4, which then means that a must be equals to 2. F is the correct answer. Jerome, Kevin, and Seth shared a submarine sandwich. Jerome ate 1/2 of the sandwich, Kevin ate 1/3, and Seth ate the rest. What is the ratio of Jerome's share to Kevin's share to Seth's share? I would recommend you picking a number whatsoever and finding the half out of all of those and so on. But pick a number that is divisible by 6. A number that I can divide this by, the 2 by, and the 3 by. So for example, let's say 12. Apparently Jerome has half the 12, so it's half times 12. Kevin had 1/3 of the sandwich, which let's say it's just 12. The rest, now in order to find the rest, that يعني هعمل 1, because 1 is the complete fraction, minus half and minus 1/3. That would get me the fraction for Seth. Apparently Seth has 1/6. 1/6 of the 12 as well. Here, this would be 6, this would be 4, and this would be 2. Now, to figure out the ratio of Jerome's share to Kevin's share to Seth's share, we need Jerome to be at the very beginning, and then Kevin, and then Seth. Looking at those, there is no such thing as 6, 4, 2 into these, but there are the simplified versions of them. 3, 2, and 1. If you divide all of those by 3, you'll have the simplest form of the ratio, which is what we're supposed to be looking for. Divide by 2, sorry. Does that make sense or not? Type 36. A particular circle in the standard xy coordinate plane, and they're asking for the radius and the center. Because we're given the form, the equation itself, I'm reminding you that this is how the equation of the circle should look like, where the center of the circle would be the two numbers next to the x and next to the y, but with the opposite signs. So in this case, this is supposed to be positive 5, and because there is no number next to the y, then this is a 0. We figured out the center, so definitely it's f, g, or h. It can't be j, it can't be k. The second thing to figure out is the radius, and in order to find the radius, we'll take this number out here, and we have to put it under the square root. The square root of 38 will just remain as the square root of 38, which makes f to be the correct answer. The figure below consists of a square and two semicircles, which dimensions shown as shown. What is the outside perimeter? So looking at this shape, it consists of half a circle here, or semicircle here, and another semicircle on the left side. Together, they share, or they create a complete circle. So what I'm going to find out is actually the circumference of one circle. Add to this circumference this side over here, and then another one over there. That's it. So the circumference again is the length of the outer sides of a circle. So that's the half a circle, and that's another half, which makes this a complete circle, plus the two yellow parts. So 2 pi r plus 2 times 8, because every one of those parts is 8. R in this case is the radius, and because the diameter is 8, then the radius is 4, so that would become 8 pi plus 16. Looking at the choices, that is B. أي مشكلة؟ In the figure below, points E and F are the midpoints of the sides كذا and كذا. مهم, he needs to know what is the ratio. Whenever I'm asked to find the ratio between any two things, I'll divide these two things. They need the ratio of area of the area of E, G, F, H. So we're talking area of the white shape over أو to the area of the shaded region. So تحت المفروض أحط the area of the shaded. How do we figure this one out? Now we can actually start calculating areas and so on, or I have a different way of looking at it كده that I hope you guys will be able to see. So looking at this triangle over here along with this one, both of these together they form a square, some sort of thing, صح؟ أو a rectangle. هما قد بعض by the way, و they form a rectangle. So الاثنين قد بعض وبلس بعض واحد. وفي نفس الوقت هنا دول برضو قد بعض ونفس المقاسات وبلس بعض على بعض، هعتبرهم rectangle واحد. Now I'm left with the two shaded regions اللي هم على اليمين خالص، اللي هو ده وده، ودول الاثنين برضو على بعض هيعملوا مع بعض rectangle واحد. هيبقى فاضل الوايت اللي في النص. So لما تيجي تبص عليها الوايت يعتبر واحد من او واحد فوق ده الوايت out of الشيدد. الشيدد هما كام واحد؟ الشيدد هما الاثنين اليالو على بعض ادي 1، الاثنين الجرين على بعض ادي 2، والاثنين الجراي على بعض ادي كده 3. So it's 1 over 3 او 1 to 3 which is G. فهمتوا اللي حصل ده ولا مش قوي؟ You have to give me some sort of a feedback بصراحة. Shall we move خلاص عادي to the next ولا we're good؟ رؤى معلش انت قلت تمام؟ بالنسبة لك عادي، اوكي ماشي حلو. فهمتي؟ وهاجر قالت تمام، وعمرو expect you're good، صح؟ very proud عامة. حلو قوي. The coordinates of the endpoints of CD in the standard XY coordinate plane is this and that. What is the X coordinate of the midpoint? When I'm getting the midpoint between any two things, I add them and I divide them by 2. And because they need the midpoint of the X coordinates, then I'll add the X coordinates and I'll divide them by 2. Negative 4 plus 14 over 2. That's 10 over 2 and that's 5. The answer is C. What is the surface area of an 8-inch cube? A cube is basically a block that has all the sides equal to each other, and they're basically a total of 6 faces of that cube. So whenever I need to find the surface area of something, it's like you're opening up this box and spreading its faces next to each other, so it would somehow look something شوية like this. So there are basically 4 sides اللي هم ال 4 faces surrounding the rectangle اللي هم this, this, and this, and this, and then the upper one and the lower one اللي هم الغطا اللي فوق والبottom which are these two اللي هو اللي فوق هنا ده واللي تحت هنا. طيب if I need to find the surface area, I basically need to find the area of every face and then add them all up. And because they're all the same measures, and I know that each side is 8, then the area of one square of those is 8 times 8, which is 64. And there are 6 faces, as I just said, so it's 6 times 64. That's 256. J. لا, not 256, it's 384, sorry. Does that make sense? The equation below are linear equations of a system مش عارف ايه. Which of the following best describes those? And they told you that A, B, C are all positive integers. First, we'll figure out what's the slope of the first equation. And I remember telling you that the slope of the this form is supposed to be negative الرقم اللي جنب ال x, which is negative b, over الرقم اللي جنب ال y, which is a. While here the slope is negative الرقم اللي جنب ال x, يعني positive b, over الرقم اللي جنب ال x, ال y, sorry, يعني a. So this has mainly a negative slope, while this one has a positive slope. And because their slopes are different, then definitely they will intersect once. They're not parallel أكيد لأن they have a solution, they're not the same line لأن they have different slopes. It's only two. It's a very برضو easy question. They need which of the following expressions gives the distance from the boat to the dock, which is this distance here. يعني they're basically asking me for the opposite, and I already have here the adjacent. So I'll be thinking of tan, definitely. Tan the 52 is equals to the opposite, which is x, over the adjacent, which is 30. Then in this case, you move 30 to the other side, and by multiplication, and you'll find the answer as f. The circle graph shows the distribution of the registered voters by age. For a community, registered voters are randomly selected from this distribution to be called for jury duty. What are the odds in the age range, not in the in the age range, not in the age range? Okay. So they needed to be age range, not to age range, that the first person called for jury duty is in the age range of 25 to 35. Okay, so if it's in the يعني ايه what are the odds دي؟ يعني لا يعني what are the odds يعني what are the probabilities؟ chances بالظبط. So what are the odds in the age range not to in the age range دي يعني basically probability بتاعت ان حد يطلع in the age of 25 to 35. So 25 to 35 is the black apparently part, which is consisting of 42%. بس هو كمان قال لي انه ده so those are the people in the age range. المفروض بقى اعملها 2 يعني over اللي not in the age range. هو في كام حد not in the age range؟ الباقي من 100 اللي هو all the rest يعني اللي هم 8 plus 11 plus 25 plus 14. That's basically 58. So on a calculator, if you put 42 divided by 58, that's 21 to 29. هيطلع 21 over 29. So it means that the range is basically 21 to 29. Does that make sense? أول question لي علاقة بالشيبس الغريبة العجيبة، قصدي باللي هو more than one يعني group questions شوية. بيقول لي the figure below shows the design of a circular stained glass panel on display at Hopewell's antique shop. Seems separate the pieces of the panel. All red triangular pieces shown are congruent and have a common vertex with each adjoining triangular piece. The two squares shown are inscribed in the circle. The diameter of the panel is 2 feet. The design of the stained glass panel has how many lines of symmetry in the plane of the panel? So how many lines of symmetry are there? Basically lines of symmetry هما lines اللي بتsplit الشيب into equal parts, which means we have this line of symmetry اللي هو بالعرض كده, we have this, we have this, we have this, and every other point. يعني احنا بنتكلم يعني اللي هما دول مثلا, يعني we have مثلا ده, مش كده بقى, ده وده وده وده. So basically lines of symmetry اللي هنا هما كأنك مضطر تكاونت ادي 1 2 3 4 اللي هما البيج تراينجلز كده، البوز بتاع البيج تراينجلز، وبعدين 5 6 7 and that's it. لا في 8 اللي هو انا ما عديته this one sorry 8 this one 4 زر 4 خد 4 حمر. So that's a total of 8. Does that make sense? What is the area of the stained glass panel to the nearest 0.1? So the area of the stained glass, يعني this whole thing. صح؟ Yep. Area of the whole shape. ولا لا أنا مش عارف so the area of the whole circle. So yes, because the diameter is 2, then it means that the radius is 1. So it's pi 1 to the power of 2 يعني 3.14. يعني A would be the correct answer. Kaya wants to install a new circular stained glass window in her living room. The design of the window will be identical to that of the panel. The diameter of the new window will be 75% longer than the diameter of the panel. The diameter of the panel right now is 2, so if I need to add 75% more, هعمل ال 2 times 175%. لأني I'll add 75%, so it will become in this case 3.5. This is the new diameter J. It's an easy one. In the figure below, A, B, and C, D parallel to each other. AE bisects. Bisects means it splits those angles into two equal parts, and the same happens over here. You're then told that BAC, which is this angle, is equivalent to 82. Because this is 82, and I know that it's a bisector, so this one is 41, and that one is 41 as well. The same thing will be done on this angle here, but because these two lines are parallel to each other, it means that this angle along with this one should be added to each other equals to 180. If I do 180 minus the 82, I'll figure out that this angle entirely is supposed to be equals to 98 degrees. 49 will be the measure of each angle of those. Now when you look at that triangle اللي اسمه AEC, we have an angle that's 41, an angle that's 49. I can figure out the last angle using 180 minus 41 minus 49, and that would be equals to 90. Easy, صح؟ In the circle shown below, chords TR and QS intersect مش عارف ايه. المهم هو he needs the degree measure of the minor arc اسمه RS, the one that has this question mark over there. في حاجة اسمها central angle وفي حاجة تانية اسمها inscribed angle. The inscribed angle is, for example, this angle over here, ال 30, the peak بتاعها is on the circle and it's looking at an arc. This is called an inscribed angle. On the other hand, this angle here, the peak بتاعها is at the center and it's still looking at the same arc. This angle اللي جوه اسمها central angle and it's equals to the arc. This angle اللي بره كده اللي في الطرف كده دي اسمها inscribed angle and it's half the actual arc. So لو inscribed نص الارك, it means if this is 30, the arc is actually 60 degrees. And because the arc is 60 degrees and this is a central angle, then this angle اللي هنا is 60 degrees as well. Now because these are vertically opposite angles, then this one is also 60 degrees. And because it's central, then it's looking at this arc which is equals to 60 degrees. So the answer is 60. Does that make sense? What is the value of A so that it would have infinite number of solutions? In order for something to have infinite number of solutions, it needs to have the same slope and the same y-intercept. So slope and y-intercept. We'll figure out the slope of the first one, which is supposed to be -2 over -1, يعني +2. Now I'll get the slope from the second one, which is -6 over -3, which is خلاص 2. Done. The second thing to figure out is the y-intercept. The y-intercept in the first equation is 8 over -1, which gives me the y-intercept is -8. This one will become 4a over -3, and that needs to be equals to -8. You can solve this equation, moving the -3 to the other side, then the 4a will be equals to positive 24, yes, and then the a4 would go to the other side by division, and the a would be equals to 6. So I got the y-intercept from the first equation, made it equals to the y-intercept of the second equation now, and then got to the value of a. Here's the part that you were asking about. يا جن شوية. Marcia makes and sells handcrafted pictures frames مش عارف ايه. It's either small or large. It takes her 2 hours to make a small frame. So I'll write those information, small or large. This one takes 2 hours. And then the large one takes 3 hours for the making. The shaded triangular region shown below is the graph of a system of inequalities representing the weekly constraints Marcia has in making the frames. For making and selling S small frames and L large frames, Marcia makes a profit of 30S plus 70L. Marcia sells all the frames she makes. Type. They ask you the weekly constraint represented by the horizontal line segment containing 9 and 2 means that each week Marcia makes a minimum of قد ايه. So we have to look at this. What does that mean? It's a point where this is x and this is y. And on the shape itself, on the graph itself, they have the coordinates next to the axis. They've written that this is the number of small, this is the number of large. So apparently x is the small, y is the large. We have 9 small and 2 large. That's what this point is stating. They're asking you, it means she can make a minimum of 9 small, لأ 2 large, that's true. تعالوا نتشيك فوق ايه الكلام. 9 and 2 فين 9 and 2 on the graph? It's this one. Type 9 and 2 itself. Let's substitute 9 and 2 over here into that. لا مش عايزين حاجة. بس that means actually minimum of 2 large. Yeah. ايه ده؟ ايه the weekly constraints represented by horizontal line. هو بيتكلم عن horizontal line بس. So the horizontal line is the line اللي بالعرض. So it's definitely the number of large frames بس. So this line اللي بالعرض ده means إنه we have to make a minimum of 2 large. We can't go below line ده. So it works for that. We can بس خلاص. Does this make sense ولا لا؟ Yes يا حبيبي. لسه 5 minutes لسه متقلقش. لما بقرب شوية بقوم موجود. ايوه انت بيبقى باين لك بس العلامه بس مش باين لك قد ايه. ايه ده والله انا اول مره اعرف ان انا بس اللي بيبان لي التايمر ده بيبقى كاتب بالظبط عندي اصل فاضل قد ايه. بس لو مش دايسه على لو مش فاتحه حاجه يعني عادي عادي. بس ثانك يو قوي قوي. 51 بيقول لي for every hour that Marcia spends making frames in the second week of December each year, she donates $3 from the week's profit to a local charity. This year, Marcia made 4 large frames, 2 small frames. They already told you up there إن في حاجة واحدة بس اللي ليها علاقة بالprofit, which is this thing, 30S plus 70L. This is the profit that she makes. 30S plus 70L. So apparently they said that she did already 4 large, 2 small. So I'll substitute accordingly 3 times 2 and 70 times 4. And I'll get to know دلوقتي البروفيت بتاعها is how much, which is 60 plus 2, 80, that's $340. Apparently, she'll spend $3 from that week's profit. They need to know which of the following is closest to the percent. Percent means we're going to do 1/2 over total of the week's profit donated to charity. Apparently, she donated 3. That's the wanted out of the total of 340. That's I think is 6%. بس برضو I'm going to confirm. لا يمكن أكون أنا حسبت لا 3 over 340. أنا حسبت 3 over 380. What the hell? 80 times 2 plus 70 times 4. Yep, 340. 4 large column. Yes, it's 3 over the 340. So the closest is 6%. يعني بس I still don't get that. It's very far away. It's okay. Oh no. أنا فهمت حاجة تانية. هو هنا بيتكلم إن هي she'll spend $3 دي for every hour that Marcia spends. So and it's not from the week's profit. So apparently the week's profit, yes, that's true. This is the week's profit. Let me go back. This is the week's profit فعلا. But I don't care about the week's profit. We need to know how many $3 is she going to spend. So if up there she told us that she takes 2 hours for every small frame and 3 hours for every large one, then I'm supposed to multiply here. Can 2 of 3? Okay. So 2 times the number of small frames اللي هم basically 2 plus 4 times the number 3 اللي هم ال hours she spends for the large frames. Let me rearrange that, make it 3 times the number of large frames she created. So that's 4 plus 12. That's a total of 16 hours. 16, and she'll spend $3 for every hour. So I'll have to multiply the 16 times 3. Please go to the next link first. أنا هرتب ده تاني. Let's go to the next link. طيب معلش sorry. So let me organize that. خلاص احنا فهمنا so far انه البروفيت بتاعه is supposed to البروفيت sorry بتاعها ده is supposed to be $340 and we stop there. بس as for the $3 دي هي she spends $3 for every hours she works on the frames. Apparently she's done 4 large frames, so we'll multiply 4 by 3 because she takes 3 hours for every large frame, plus 2 multiplied by 2 لأنه she takes 2 hours for every small frame. That gave me a total of 16 hours in total. She'll spend $3 for every hour, so it's 16 times 3. That would get you the dollars she spent, which is she spent $48 donations in total for this week. So the 48 is what percent of the profit? 48 is over 340. That's 14.1%. the closest would be the 14%. So the answer is actually C. Does that make sense ولا لا؟ السؤال ده tricky بصراحة. Are we good? What is the maximum profit Marcia can earn from the picture frames she makes in 1 week? طيب عشان أعرف الماكسيمم بروفيت هو اوريدي مديني الايكويشن اللي احسب بيها البروفيت ومديني هنا الجراف اللي اعرف بيه الكونسترينتس. عشان اعرف الماكسيمم بروفيت بجرب البوينتس اوف فيرتيسز اللي هم ال 3 points دول بس. So I'm supposed to try ده وده وده, substitute them into the profit equation to figure out مين فيهم will get me the biggest profit possible. 0 and 8 is the first point, the second one is 9 and 2, and the third one is 0 and 2. Yes. We will use the three of them and substitute it into the equation of the profit اللي هي it's 30 S plus 70 L. So that is now 30 times 9 plus 70 times 2 on a calculator. You'll get to know بالظبط دول كام dollar. And then 30 times 0 plus 70 times 8. And you'll get to know those are how much dollars. 30 times 0 and 70 times 2. There's no need to try this last one. لأنه كده this is bigger than that. بس يعني we should figure them out. Did someone actually calculate it? This is 410. This is $560. That's $140. So yeah, J is the biggest. So مش معنى انه في ارقام في الاثنين انه هيطلع اكبر حاجه. ساعات بيطلع في cases تانية بتطلع اكبر حاجه زي دي مثلا ايه. On the other hand كمان الحاجه التانية اللي بتبقى hint شويه هو عاده بتكون اعلى point في الشيب ده هي دي اللي بتكون ماكسيمم عاده بس it's not always true. يعني we can't depend on that. يلا 53. The determinant of a matrix كذا equals AD minus CB. What must be the value of X for the matrix كذا to have a determinant of كذا؟ طيب معلش يا حبيبي الدنيا 1 second كده. بيقول لي the determinant of a matrix كذا equals كذا and he told you how to calculate the matrix. What must be the value of X for the determinant of this to be negative 16? So in order to define the determinant we multiply these two minus the other two. So it's x times x يعني x to the power of 2 minus 8 times x اللي هي 8x. I need this to be equals to negative 16. Apparently this is now a quadratic equation, which means we move everything to one side and make it equals to 0. So this is now the new equation. In order to solve any quadratic equation we use the calculator mode 5.3 or we can figure out mentally كده ايه هم الرقمين اللي طلعوا لي كده اللي طلعوا لي الانسر دي. ويعني I prefer طبعا the calculator عشان ما يبقاش فيه الضغط بتاع التفكير في الدماغ at the point. You'll find ان ال x equals 4 is the only correct x that comes out. هو بيطلع one answer x بس. easy جدا. A formula for finding the value $A of $P invested at $I compounded annually for n years is this. Which of the following is an expression of P for P in terms of I, N, and A? So I need P entirely alone, which means this whole thing will need to move to the other side by division. So A will be over 1 plus 0.01 I, is all to the power of n. This is now equals to P. P is alone. This is the answer right away. مش محتاجة حتى أي حاجة. This is لا sorry مش دي. Okay. This is a perfect question. Just if you do not decide to distribute the P. If you decided to distribute the P, it would be hectic. But there's no point of distributing the P, especially because there's a power over the bracket. Then we cannot actually distribute the P inside. لأنه في power over the bracket. Easy question to the point. 55. X and Y are real numbers such that X is bigger than 1 and Y is less than -1. Then which of the following inequalities must be true? If X is bigger than 1 and Y is less than -1, I'll pick a number. So I'll pick مثلا 5 for the X and I'll pick for the Y -4. Weird things. Okay. I'll substitute. كان 5 هنا 5 over -4. Is this bigger than 1? No, it's not true definitely لأنه أصلا it's negative. واحدة positive والتانية negative divide بعض هيطلع لي ازاي أكبر من 1. طب absolute x squared. So it's already a positive value أكبر من 1 to the power of 2. Is this definitely bigger than the absolute of y? Yes, that is the one that's always true no matter what. Because it doesn't matter ايه value of لا stop, I can't say that must be true. ممكن يكونوا قد بعض. لا. Even if they're equals to each other or the x is smaller than the y, then it's to the power of 2 multiplied by itself 2 to the لا هي B صح يا جماعة. Over 3 minus 5 is bigger. This is very weird and it wouldn't make sense. This one still doesn't make any sense because the plus 1 doesn't change anything. The same one doesn't make any sense. None of them is true except for B. Again, trying out those numbers would be okay, and if you even decided to use the same exact number, that's fine as well. So if you decided to use مثلا -5, that's okay, but 5 and -5. Does this make sense ولا أنا لخبطتكم في الحتة دي؟ Perfect. Triangle ABC and PQR are shown below. The given side lengths are in the centimeters. The area of ABC sorry, is 30. So this one is 30, the area. What is the area of PQR? PQR. Apparently الاثنين sides دول هم المفروض يكونوا نفس المجر. This is a very tricky question. The only rule that we know regarding area and angles and sides at the same time is this rule of the area of a triangle that says half times any two sides times sine the middle angle. So مثلا أنا هنا لو عايز أجيب الاريا المفروض إن أنا أعمل half times xy times sine الميدل angle اللي هي 70 and that will get me 30 بكام؟ Oh sorry, that would get me الاريا بكام. So if I'd like to find ال xy المفروض ال half times sine 40 دول الاتنين يروحوا الناحية التانية بالdivision. فأنا كده هيبقى عندي xy equals 30 divided by half sine 70. On a calculator, this will get you in the xy equals 77.5. Now, in order to get the area of PQR, I'll apply the same rule. Half times نفس ال XY, يعني half times 77.5 sine الميدل angle اللي هو 110 equals, I'll put this on a calculator and it will get me the answer right away. ايه ده الهبل؟ ازاي نيجاتيف يعني؟ ايه؟ سوري، لا انا ما بحطش times، انا اسف. الله، يبقى انا عملت حاجة غلط. خلاص never mind, I'll do it step by step better. بلاش احسبها مع الكالكوليتر خالص. As we said, this is supposed to be equals to 30. Oh, the half would go to the other side with division, so xy sine 70 will be equals to 60. And move sine 70 to the other side, so xy will be equals to 60 over sine 70. Over here برضو I'll put مكان ال xy 60 over sine 70. مش هحسب أرقام. Half, calculating half now. Bracket 60 over sine 70 times sine 110. هو ايه في ايه؟ عمود ريدي. انا اسف يا جماعه، كل ده انا عامل الموست كومن ميستيك اللي ممكن تحصل في الدنيا. انا اسف جدا. ايه بقى انا غلطت غلطه ايه؟ ان انا كنت عامل كل ده بعملها، بس الكالكوليتر كان معمول على راديانز، سو عمال يديني انسر بنيجاتيف 1 بوينت حاجه. once I changed it to degrees it got me the answer as 30 من الاول خالص زي ما كنت عامل. so nothing's wrong if you understand the concept. we did nothing wrong from the very beginning. The only thing that you just need to make sure is that the calculator is already in degrees عشان انا حصلت عندي اول issue دي. Does that make sense? Okay. Triangle ABC is shown in the figure below. The measure of angle A is 40. ABC مش عارف ايه زي ما هو مكتوب. المهم ان هو عايز length of BC اللي هو ده. whenever انا عندي كده two sides والميدل angle we can use دايما الكوساين اللي هو to find the opposite side ده. هسمي ده for the time being as x. هتقول ان السايد ده power 2 المفروض يكون equals to the two other sides to the power of 2 plus بعض minus 2 times نفس ال two sides cosine الانجل اللي في النص اللي هي 40. All what you need to do now is to put x equals the square root of all of this. Looking at the answers, it's right there. Square root of 12 squared plus 18 squared minus 2 times the two sides cosine the middle angle. It's like a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c. Exactly like the cosine law. What is the sum of the first four terms of the arithmetic sequence in which the sixth term is 8 and the 10th term is 13? If the sixth is 8 and the 10th is 13, this means there's a difference between the sixth and the 10th of how many positions? يعني if I'm talking sixth, this is 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Apparently I have 1, 2, 3, 4 distances هنا. 4 spaces ما بينهم. يعني 4 common differences. 4 times عملت plus d فيها. therefore أنا هعمل ال 13 minus ال 8، هعملهم minus بعض عشان أعرف الفرق كله قد إيه. and that فرق اللي هو ال 5 I'll divide الفرق of the 5 ده divide by 4 because there are 4 differences that happen. So now I know that the difference is 5 over 4. Because I know that the difference is 5 over 4, I can now find عادي the sum and I know the sixth term بكام. أنا ممكن أرجع لورا وأطلع الأربعة terms الأخرانيين بكام، أو ممكن I use الرول to find the first term بكام. the rule states إنه ال an equals to a1 plus the difference multiplied by n minus 1. an ده الترم اللي أنا عايز أوصل له. So let's say بدل an هحط 8 اللي هو ال 6th term، و a1 هو ال first term اللي أنا عايز أجيبه فهسيبه a1، وال d اللي هو ال difference اللي أنا جبته ب 5/4، وال n أنا عارف already إنها ب 6 لأن ال 8 دي تعتبر ال 6th term. هحط ده كده على الكالكوليتر بشيفت سولف مثلا. it should get me ال A1 بكام. أول ما جبت ال A1 which is basically 7/4 كده أنا I can find the sum of the first 4 terms عادي because the sum of the first terms is supposed to be n/2 ده الرول multiplied by 2 times A1 plus the difference multiplied by n minus 1. So basically هنا we'll start applying ال n اللي هم 4 لأنه أنا عايز أعرف ال 4 terms divide by 2 multiplied by 2 times a1 اللي أنا جبته ب 7/4 plus the difference اللي أنا برضو جبته ب 5/4 multiplied by n اللي هي 4 minus 1 and I'll put this whole thing on a calculator. Yes يا حبيبي. Of course يا حبيبتي. Good luck. Thank you يا عمر. So 14.5 is supposed to be the answer for that one. 14.5. Moving on to 59. The equation this m and n are integers. The only possible values for x is -3. So I'll substitute على طول. ادي -3 to the power of 2. بدل الx احط -3 so that makes it -3m plus n equals 0. I'll move this is 9, I'll move it to the other side. So now I have -3m plus n equals -9. Keep in mind انه قال لي انه ال n is an integer. So n و m الاثنين integers. So لو we assumed ان ال m مثلا ب 3، لو ال m ب 3 -3 times 3 is -9. That is okay because -9 plus 0 could be فعلا equals to -9. يعني في -9 plus حاجة integer تديني برضه -9. لو جيت جربت ال -3 -3 times -3 is +9. 9 plus حاجة integer تديك -9 هتبقى negative number. -18 مثلا. لا أنا عندي لا سوري أنا عملت حاجة غبية برضه. ماشي هستوب هنا معلش هستوب هنا. ادي اول equation اللي هي -3m plus n equals to -9. الحاجة التانية بما ان دي quadratic equation and they told me already that it has only one answer of -3 معناها ان ال discriminant بتاعها اللي هو b power 2 minus 4ac لازم يكون equal 0. يعني هنا ال m power 2 minus 4a اللي هي ب 1 و c اللي هي ب n لازم تكون equal 0 which means m power 2 minus 4n equals 0. Yes, that's true. Now I'll move while substitute بقى أظبط شوية. I'll move ال -3m to the other side. I'll have now n equals -9 plus 3m. وسبستيتيوت ده مكان ده m squared minus 4 times -9 plus 3m equals to 0. Distribute. I'll have m squared plus 36 minus 12m equals 0, which means I can do this now with mode 5-3 and find the value of m. This will get me m equals either +6 أو بس it's the only possible answer 6. You understand what just happened? So there are two parts for the question. The first part is actually substituting فعلا the x with -3. I got هنا an equation. The second part is the discriminant, because they said it's the only possible answer, which means it has only one solution. Therefore, the discriminant must be equals to 0. I got out of this discriminant this equation, and then I used this equation over here itself to find the rest of the equation using only m. The solution set of which of the following equations is the set of real numbers that are 5 units from -3. I told you قبل كده, I'm not sure if you remember ده أو لأ, بس I told you إنه في الابsolute inequalities أو equations, مثلا if I have x minus 3 in an absolute equals 4, we call this number هنا بعكس الساين, we call it the midpoint. And this number here, we call it the distance. It's the distance between the midpoint and the answers. يعني I can solve this using the number line. هاخد midpoint as I told you, بس لازم يكون بالopposite sign. So midpoint بدل ما هي -3 هحطها as +3. I'm supposed to move a distance of 4 to the right and 4 to the left. If you move 4 to the right, 3 plus 4 is 7. Well, 3 minus 4 is -1. Those are the answers. Those are the two numbers away from 3 by 4 units. So the same thing is applying here. I need the inequality that shows the numbers that are far away by 5 units from the -3. So apparently -3 is the midpoint, while 5 units is the distance. We can put them back as -3 بعكس الساين تبقى +3, and the distance بنفس الساين outside, so it makes F the correct answer. Does that make sense? كل الأسئلة النهاردة كانت لطيفة، متهيألي جديدة شوية، ما فيهاش حاجات كتير اتكلمنا فيها قبل كده، ف it was nice إنه في ideas كتير ما شفناهاش، صح ولا إيه؟ حسيتوا الموضوع أرخم ولا إيه؟ ما كانش وحش الامتحان ده، صح؟